and welcome back to my channel. This video is not only long, it's also just really late because it has to do with a holiday that happened in November. Some might call it Thanksgiving. We called it Complainsgiving.
Look everyone, it's the spirit of Thanksgiving.
Because the real meaning of what happened on Thanksgiving is pretty fucked up, and so we thought we would just host something where we just sat around and complained about terrible things. President, our lack of jobs, climate change, all those fun uplifting things. God, I love America.
Reliving past pain and getting depressed is what Thanksgiving's all about.
Now, I've hosted like dinner parties and brunches and things like that before, but I've never hosted anything to magnitude? Oh wow, I need to go back to school. I've never done anything this big on the scale of hosting, but it actually turned out to be a lot easier than I thought it would be. I thought I would share it with you guys in case you want to do it too. Now, before I hop into the video, I want to let you guys know that everything I talk about in this and everything that you see in this video will be up on my blog. So if I skip over it or don't go over it here, you can get detailed instructions and directions and photogs there. Leave it down below. In the last couple of years, I've come to the realization that I'm not a Phoebe, I am in fact a Monica, which is proven in the fact that I started planning 3 weeks before. You heard me, 3 weeks before. This is the time to solidify your guest list because 3 weeks before is pretty much, I think, the best time to order your turkey. Turkeys go so incredibly fast. 2 weeks before. Now that I had my guest list and I had my turkey all pre-ordered, it was time to move on to planning the menu. And I basically just went through Pinterest and food blogs and scoured anything that I thought might be good. And then I asked all of my guests what their favorite thing that they have to have every year on Thanksgiving is and what is something that they could always do without. And the one that everyone could do without was cranberry sauce, which honestly didn't even cross my radar. Oh wow, so good that you said that because that wasn't even anything I was planning on doing. So while you're planning out your meal and picking out all your recipes, now would also be the time to coordinate with whoever else is bringing food or designating people to bring other things. So by the end of the second week, I had narrowed down my menu and I had saved all of the recipes on Pinterest and they were all in one place. 1 week before. This is when I started to write my schedule. It took me longer to write the schedule than it did to make this damn turkey. I basically went through all of those recipes that I had saved and they were all just inspiration. I knew I was going to change things up, but I didn't want to have to I don't know, freestyle it in the moment. I was able to make this entire Google Docs sheet of every single recipe that I was going to do, all of the ingredients that I needed for it, and all of the instructions on how to make it all on one massive sheet. Did it take a lot of time? Hell yeah. But did it save me a lot of time? Hell yeah. Once I was done perfecting all of my recipes, I then went on to schedule the following week, hour by hour. Call me crazy, but again, it was amazing. And while planning out the super specific schedule, I was able to find little bumps that I needed to iron through. And so at that time, I was able to switch it around and not be there on the day of oh my gosh, I don't have enough space for this pan in here. I'm still so proud of myself. And we ended up eating exactly on the time that I had told everyone we would, which was gonna be 4:30, and I still had 20 minutes to take pictures. So was the food cold by the time we ate it? Yes, because I made everyone not eat so I could take pictures. Fuck it, that's what microwaves are for. I don't have any hand gestures for the weekend before Thanksgiving. The weekend before Thanksgiving is when I did all of my non-perishable food and grocery shopping. Get it out of the way, do it early in the morning, bring reusable shopping bags. Don't destroy the planet, just destroy your diets. It's the holidays, no one cares. Now, I also picked up my turkey on the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and that's because I was about to embark on a 4-day dry brine. I spent so much time researching how I wanted to cook this turkey, especially if you did not know, I am gluten, grain, and dairy free, so I have missed out on turkey the last couple of years ever since I was diagnosed with food allergies, and so I was determined to find a recipe that would be great, that everyone else would love, even though it wasn't coated in butter and they wouldn't even notice that it was dairy free, and then I could still enjoy it because I fucking love turkey. I used the recipe on Food 52's website. It's called the Judy Bird. I mean, everyone said it was the best turkey they'd ever had, and I think it was the best turkey I've ever had either. Or two. Either's not the right word to use here, right? I don't know. It's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. These hand gestures are gonna get pretty annoying, aren't they? This Tuesday morning is when I went to go get the rest of the perishable ingredients. Most of your foods, even if they're perishables and they go pretty fast, you'll be solid by that time. So anything that you're planning on freezing, you can start to make on Tuesday, and for me, that was soup and gravy. And yes, you can make gravy without the turkey drippings. You just add those in at the end. Also on Tuesday, I was able to get one of the appetizers out of the way, which is one of my favorite spiced nut recipe. You can take any mix of your favorite nuts, dry toast them with dried spices and herbs and some fresh spices and herbs. Wait till they get all crispy and toasty. You want to start with raw nuts. Did I say that? I feel like I didn't. Start with some raw nuts. No matter what, sounds dirty. Then once they're warm, you can toss them with a little bit of olive oil or coconut oil and set them aside to cool. And then from there, I literally just put them in a mason jar and stored them in the cupboard. Actually, that's a lie. I put them in a jar and then I gave it to Aislinn because I knew I would eat all of them before Thanksgiving, and I made her hide them in her car. I have no self-control. We're on to Wednesday. I'll say it. Wednesday was more stressful than Thursday. One of the days had to be more stressful, and I would have rathered it been the day that I didn't have to wear makeup. Bright and early on Wednesday morning, first thing that I did was make my homemade salted caramel sauce to go on the pies or the ice cream or any desserts people would want. Oh, should I put an apron on so I look legit? I'm never gonna look legit, am I? I have forehead zits. I've never washed this. Who's ready for some salted caramel?
Me!
Stuff's happening!
I don't remember, you said you would.
Next, we moved on to washing, slicing, and prepping the Brussels sprouts.
Get them ready to party!
After those were prepped and ready, I set those aside and I moved on to the stuffing. So first we have to start sausage. We want this to get crispy. So we're gonna start with not a non-stick pan. I really like frying any of the meats first because then I can use any of that rendered fat to cook the rest of the vegetables or whatever else is going into the pan. So after that was done, I was able to add this amazing like new stuffing mix.
What is it?
It is diced celery, onions, and herbs.
Stuffing starter!
Everyone at Trader Joe's was impressed. They were like, where'd you find this? And I was like, here.
At this store?
At this one just now. Delicious, baby. You can cook for another minute. You, my friend, you're going in some Tupperware. Onto this now, garlic time. Oh, this is so sexual. Will you try a piece of celery and tell me if it's soft enough? Let's switch. Okay.
Oh, that's a cute shot.
It's so close to my face. Soft? Could you use a little more time?
I kind of like it. It's like a little bit al dente.
That's what I was gonna say. After that was done, I set it aside to cool and I moved on to frying my bacon in the cast iron skillet to get ready for the Brussels sprouts, which let me just say, made me fart for like 2 weeks straight afterwards. It was a fun time up in here. Take a little bit at a time and then begin to fry your Brussels sprouts with the cut side down to get that nice caramelization and color. Add some balsamic vinegar to deglaze the pan. Ah! Stray sprout! You can't leave the sprout, twins. Dylan, Cole, Riverdale. Yummy, 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 yummy. Woo! Once I was finished cooking all of the Brussels sprouts, I actually put them in the same dish that I was planning to bake them in and serve them in. So if you can cut any corners by having bakeware that also doubles as serveware, I would totally recommend it. Next, we moved on to prepping the rest of the vegetables for the roast vegetables. So we're gonna slice up some of the cauliflower so it's a little smaller. I'm also going to slice up a large onion. I think I had Mods get another onion. I think I have
Too many?
a lot. You wanna make sure everything's a manageable size, so I believe in you, kid. Got a hole in your butt.
What time is it?
Break time! Or, oh, coffee time! That's what you're trying to get to say. Megan's gonna take a break and drink some coffee and post a blog post about pecan pie bars, which Mott saw a picture and goes, oh my god, I can't wait to eat those at Thanksgiving. I was like, I'm not making this. Next, I placed all of the vegetables onto rimmed baking sheets. So I laid them all out on a single layer and I made sure to put all of the vegetables that took longer to cook on one sheet and they would go in first. On top of the vegetables, I drizzled on coconut oil, salt, pepper, dried spices, and then a full ton of garlic cloves and fresh herbs. I still have to make the turkey, make the macaroni and cheese, bake the stuffing, make the apple pie, make a pumpkin pie, do the rolls. Did I say mashed potatoes?
No.
And the brie roll.
And it's about 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
so.
what have I done?
You got stuff done.
I did.
And the day's still not really young, but like, you know.
Now it was time to start on the rolls. Sure, if you're an overachiever, you could totally make homemade yeasty rolls, but I mean, what the if I can even get this part. The fuck? I do Pilates. I then cut them into quarters. Magic!
What you doing?
6 tablespoons of butter going into biscuits. Now we're gonna add garlic, dried parsley. I'm gonna be here for a while. Because I want the bread to be baked off fresh for tomorrow, I actually just froze the whole thing kind of as one massive lump. We want fresh bread.
Yeah.
Fred. Keep powering through. Peeling vegetables is the bane of my existence. Also peeling apples, so just peeling things except for sunburns. I do love that. Are you grossed out? Is this the wrong time to say that? Potatoes are finicky little creatures. They're not just relatable things that we refer to ourselves as on Twitter. Potatoes need a lot of tender love and care. I read that you can peel your potatoes, quarter them, and as long as you put them immediately in an ice bath and you leave them like that overnight, you're not going to get those gluey, gross potatoes that you do if you just leave them cut like normal. So that's what we did. Once the vegetables were done out of the oven, I then went on to what I would only refer to as oven Tetris. Thanksgiving edition. I went through, figured out what pans that I had assumed I would be cooking those things in to see how everything was going to fit when I was reheating everything, and guess what?
That'll work, says the person who is not a real cook.
We're doing it, we're doing it, we're doing it. Okay. Yeah, those are the rolls, those are the veggies, Those are the Brussels sprouts. I'm a fucking wizard. Cool, cool, cool. Nice, sick.
You okay?
Yeah, pretty proud of myself right now. It's fucking game day. Ready to go. I love this game! Because it's not game day. Game day is tomorrow and I still have to make a pie tonight.
You're so much better at this than like anyone I've ever met.
It's because never met Ina. Get out the way, get out the way. And of course, because I am Monica, that means there is a Chandler.
Cheese. It's milk that you chew.
Who's just trying to distract me.
Help!
Hey, if I come give you love, will you clean faster?
Help! Over me! Help! The pillows have me! I need help! They're vicious! Look at these pillows!
Babe, if I come give you love, will you clean?
Don't make love so transactional.
Here I am. My Aislinn third wheel. Billy. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't even think about doing it. To further Monica the shit out of this, I then went on to take post-it notes, and on each of the post-it notes I wrote what dish went in what serving tray, what temperature it baked at, what time it was supposed to go in, how long it was supposed to bake for, and any other additional ingredients or garnishes that I was afraid of forgetting.
It's a great plan until you won't remember which one's which.
Also impaired my vision. About to label a gravy boat, so. While the pie was baking, I was finally able to move on to the very last thing of the night, which was setting the table. I just had a basic white tablecloth from Amazon. We had the plates and the bowls and everything like that, and then I just used the regular cutlery because the linens and the plates and everything were so white. I did want to add a wee bit of color, and so I actually got this really, really pretty real garland greenery from Trader Joe's of all places, and then I put through that little pieces of eucalyptus that I had broken off and just made it look a little more full and a little, I don't know, a little more unique. And then I nestled in these little metallic votives that I had gotten from World Market, and then I just used a bunch of mason jars and filled it with white roses, and now it was finally time to go to bed. I have to wake up in 5 hours to make an apple pie, so I am not gonna see you then.
Good night.
Good night. Oh my god, it's Thanksgiving now! So I did in fact wake up at 4:30 in the morning to make an apple pie. And yeah, I didn't film it.
No, but do you want me to do a spring one like this, or do you want me to like do it all? Oh yeah.
Good morning, everybody! Welcome to actual Thanksgiving.
Woo!
Things are happening.
Woo!
We went to SoulCycle. Aislinn went for the first time. It was great. Now I just finished assembling the stuffing. I'm gonna set this aside for just a minute or so. The turkey is out, it's resting, and in about 10 minutes, I'm going to preheat the oven to start the turkey. And also, babe, you didn't shut the door, the fridge. Like, things were starting to happen. do not, no. I hate you.
I love you too.
Time to preheat the oven for the turkey.
Just take a break at the top of the stove. You're fine.
I heard that.
What?
Fuck you, you're not nice.
When did I say that? Did I say that? One giant roll coming up. No more soggy bottoms. Mary Berry.
Mary Berry would be proud.
Cheesy. That's a good Santa.
Oh, he's so small and dignified.
I honestly wasn't that stressed, and I felt like I had a pretty good grasp of the time that we had left. Turkey's in the oven. We're now, very fittingly, something had to have gone wrong on Thanksgiving. We're having issues with the oven, that it won't stay up to temperature.
Should put on a holiday
Oh,
song.
I'm not trying to like dirty dance you. I was just checking the oven. Oh, you're not gonna put on a holiday song. I know this tone. I'm gonna do something really fucking funny. Really? That's your go-to joke song. It's not even that funny. Celebrate good time. Come on.
Wait, that's it? Oh, we're all so white.
And then I was able to start on the potatoes, and then of course disaster strikes. Happy Thanksgiving. Can you really get through a Thanksgiving without a fire alarm? No. It's either that or like a racist relative, and I would far rather just take the fire alarm. That can't vote. Once that crisis was solved, I finished up the mashed potatoes. And then I used my handy dandy mashed potato hack where you can put them in a slow cooker on low after you've finished making them, and they stay warm and out of the way. Our guests were about 20 minutes out, so this is when I started on the final appetizer, which is a baked brie wheel. Back when homegirl could eat all components of this was my shit. You've got a sheet of puff pastry, you have your brie wheel, you kind of measure out the size of that, add some honey, add nuts and dried fruit, place the brie wheel on top of all of that mountain, and fold the puff pastry all around it, make it nice and snug like it's in a blanket, coat it in an egg wash, and then bake it off. Woo, woo, woo.
With the turkey that looks so good.
This was also around the time that our friends Tyler and Taylor arrived, and Tyler was in charge of drinks.
Welcome to the bar of Tyler Chase.
Yeah, and then close it over.
Use both hands.
You can do it.
Oh, you're so good.
Hand me another lemon half. Stat.
Say please.
No, he said stat. That means there's no time for politeness.
There's no time.
How much lemon is too much lemon?
I'm wondering if it
Oh, it's too much! Tyler made us all ice balls.
Ice balls.
Ice balls.
I cooked and he froze us some ice balls.
After you were
Hey,
so good to clean up,
It looks
I made sure to
difficult.
make it a mess. Who wants to try this?
Me.
That's just bitter, isn't it?
I love it.
Yeah? Everyone's being kind, aren't they? We just had a whole room of liars, didn't we?
It's delicious.
What's weird about it is it needs lemon. Oop, okay. Well, maybe a little devil. Like a latte.
The way, I like it.
I took this time to also reheat the nuts. You don't have to reheat them, but I love warm, toasty little nuts.
Oh my god. Grab a toast and dip in.
Oh, it's cheese.
How is
I've done
it?
that like 8 times. Wow, you look so good in this kitchen.
Taylor, that's sexist.
Oh, sorry, sorry. I'm sure Mats would too. Hey, Mats.
I was able to do even like a little more extra of napkin folding and being just a little more extravagant than I was before. The turkey only needed about half an hour longer in the oven, and so I took this time to make the macaroni. 2:30, start making the mac and cheese, and then at 3 we're gonna check the temperature of the turkey. Macaroni surprisingly has no calories in it. This is
0-calorie butter?
yeah. It's called
No, they didn't
Nutter. Thanks, guys.
Holy crap, that is,
Skinny. Once the turkey has reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit, I set it aside and tented it with some tin foil, and then I went on to bake the rolls and just reheat everything else. The only thing left to do was to carve the turkey, and no, you can't take this away from me. And boy oh boy, did I try for a while. I don't want to do it.
No.
And then I gave up and realized I just needed a picture of me pretending to carve the turkey, and then I just sliced off a little bit. So technically I did make the first carve. I'm in my natural habitat, eating poetry with my hands. And then suddenly it was 4 o'clock and it was time to eat, and holy tits, I did it. I really got no video clips after except for what you guys saw on my Instagram stories. That's because we all went into a deep food coma. I feel like I just did it all over again. I'm just exhausted talking about everything that I did. Hopefully this video didn't scare you off from doing anything like this. Hopefully it inspired you and made you guys want to do stuff like this, because I really can't stress how fun it was and how worth it was. I had a fun time doing it, and then people enjoyed it, and I got to spend time with people that I love. I'm gonna not be cheesy because it was Complaintsgiving. Leave a complaint about your life in the comments down below. If you guys like videos like this and you want me to show more of these things, let me know. And again, if you want to see any of the recipes or pictures or all that stuff on the blog. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you're having a good holiday season and you're listening to my podcast as you're with people that you don't want to spend time with, and you're like, I need to really just escape from it all and listen to Megan's podcast. You should do that. Don't blame me. That's what it's called, but also just don't blame me in general. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. I will see you guys next time. Bye.